So we're going to get into what the motivations might have been for some of the people who have been pointing an accusatory finger at the Hutaree militia. These people who didn't like the Hutaree militia apparently had involvement with other militia groups. And the militias at this point, from what I've been able to see, are not a united front. There's a lot of people that are trying to use and organize militia and militia type movements in the United States for their own purposes. And among these people are the neo-Nazi groups. Now, some of them are people who have genuinely had a change of heart on the whole white supremacy thing. They realize that maybe their anger with the system or the way things are isn't necessarily race-based, and that they need to look at things. They may not be any less violent, but they're not necessarily racist. Um, there's other groups that are, and they have an agenda. It's what some people would call the Turner Diaries agenda. That would seek to create their version of what they think the country should be, and it would be like the Fourth Reich or something like that. Now, those people are active within a lot of different groups. They've been active in the militia movement. That it's impossible to deny. However, a lot of the leadership within a lot of the groups will say, "Hey, listen, we try to keep those people out or convert them." They won't necessarily declare open hostility with those because there's a lot of stealing recruits back and forth, that sort of a thing. You see a similar thing happening among the motorcycle clubs. Um, However, when we look at the Hutaree had given themselves a pretty high profile on YouTube and in some other circles with some fairly high speed training. They were doing some serious training. They were posting some videos and kind of being public. Um, the thing is, they also got the attention and some jealousy from some of these neo-Nazi types. Here's one, Sons of Liberty, 1765. I'm not quite sure who this guy is. If he's that guy who had the private space agency. Yeah, he is. Oh boy. Well, anyway, that's who this guy is, and he feels that one of his roles in the world is to expose Zionism, whatever. But anyway, so what's happening on this, and we'll get back to you in a minute on that. Okay, so we're back after a short break, and I'm looking at this website from this other guy. Um, he's making a claim that what's the name, Sons of Liberty, 1765. Um, I've heard this guy before. I forget his name, but the people over at Freedom Fighter Radio say he's actually a not so in the closet Nazi. Here's a group of guys that are geared up. I don't know if that's an old military unit he was in or something, but I think it might be his group. And so obviously this is a group that's rival to the Hutaree within the whole patriot movement type of thing. So there's different interpretations on this, but uh, these are people that are obviously rivals to the Hutaree, and what happens when groups like this get into the rivalry, somebody gets a bright idea, just like within mafia groups and biker gangs and street gangs, is they think, oh, well, let's stick the police on them. However, the other thing you got to look at is a lot of these people are they're former government employees. There's military veterans. There's intelligence agency veterans. They can be sophisticated about this thing. And what I've seen, there was another one who has been active with a lot of these Nazi groups. His name is David Letty, I think. He would become active with one of the more Nazi groups, build them up and take them down, and build them up and take them down. Apparently, he's active in Florida, Georgia, that area. I don't know what side he would take on this, but he apparently leads a small group of private investigators who get involved in groups. There are some people out of Oklahoma associated with that Gossip Boy website. that apparently had infiltrated all of the groups in Oklahoma, or most of the groups in Oklahoma. And as soon as they started to get a little bit of money from somebody, they were publishing pictures of people from these militia groups, apparently doing some incriminating things, playing around with explosives and stuff. They had infiltrated that group. So in effect, what you have here are a lot of these groups infiltrating each other, and then when they have an opportunity to feed somebody to the feds, they do it. Now, I'm not going to tell you which one is more apt to be exercising Gestapo tactics. You're probably figuring that out on your own now, right? It's the people who want to be the Gestapo, right? Okay, and I'm not gonna be the guy telling you this. Look at their own videos, their own stuff. Okay, I'm gonna give you a clue though. If somebody wants to wear the SS stuff and they got a swastika thing on there and they want to dress in black, but with the SS thing on there, a lot of people dress in black. I mean, but my guess is it might be Nazis. It's a guess. You know what I mean? And if somebody's going to put that Star of David all over their stuff, now there's people who wear, there's New Age people put a Star of David on their stuff, but they're probably not hostile to Israel. At least, they're probably not doing the Turner Diary scenario thing on there. But I see this well, here's somebody posting the exact same video in his World Nazi Party. So I don't know if our space cadet guy will say he is or is not. I don't know. We could watch some hardcore rock music from guys who at least don't hide what they are. There's a group called Combat 18. They make some tough guy music. I mean, they got some tough guys out there. In fact, apparently out of Europe, the Combat 18 guys are. They even sent some guys over to Croatia, to fight in a real war. I mean, they got balls. You got to give them that. Now, Russia Today doing some stuff here, but I think there might be something on this about some motivations happening when you had some other militia groups. Now, in the July 4 Patriot situation, Charles Dyer's situation, it turned out that there was a guy named Michael Hollingsworth who had apparently volunteered a lot of information, some true and some less than true, about Charles Dyer. He volunteered that information to the feds, and the feds, for their own reasons, decided that he wasn't going to be the guy they wanted to get on the witness stand representing their case. They had other choices. They had what they felt was evidence. It turned out not to be the case, huh? But right now, we have another situation that with a Hutaree case, they're not even revealing who their undercover guy is. Now, all the Hutaree people are going to know who this guy is, right? They know who had infiltrated them. They could look to the right, look to the left, and go in the courtroom and say, well, there's one guy not here, and he's probably over at the prosecution table. So he was the infiltrator, right? We're not seeing video of the trials. We're seeing a couple of line drawings on that. There's a lot of secrecy on that. Nobody's gotten a hold of them in jail and said, hey, guess what, man? Jack was the rat. We don't know. However, they probably know who was an infiltrator, and I'll let you in on a little clue. Sometimes when somebody's saying something incriminating and about themselves or their buddy, and he ends up on the internet somewhere or ends up in a fucking U.S. attorney's office somewhere, that's bad, and you're thinking, damn, this guy ran his mouth. But you know what? You also got to think about who was the motherfucker holding the tape recorder. Okay? You got to wonder about these things, right? Okay, now I'm going to put some more in the next video.